Okay, let's get into this week's market overview. So what are we looking at here? So last week, I think everything still counts. Not much has changed. We are currently looking at the BTC chart. And so one of the things I do note here is this type of bottom formation where you see wicks come in, and I think it's kind of something I'm looking at, and a slow bleed down to a similar level, making a slightly new low before a rebound. And if we go to the daily, we can see this is kind of like a common formation. You can see kind of the same thing right here, right? It's these lows being put in, and then this, or here's the same example, right? So a wick coming in hard, and then this kind of formation that slowly bleeds, with the exception of this spike, of course, but it slowly bleeds down to this level, putting a new low, and then coming back in and putting highs. And on the daily, it is completely also the case. Boom, boom, boom. Where is it? It was here. So this is the same type of formation again. So you come hard down at these levels, put in wicks, slowly bleed down, or here's the same thing, right? You can see it on a macro scale or on a micro scale, where we see these wicks being put in, a slow bleed down into the level before we continue to rally up, right? So whether that's going to happen or not is a different story, but I think I've seen this numerous times where it does the same thing. And and you can see the same thing here kind of. So you see wicks down, a bleed down into this level, so to speak. And that is kind of the bottom. And again, here, right, hard dump down, slow bleed into that level, and that is the bottom. So I think we can continuously kind of do this, but it's been something I've tweeted about in the past, and I continue to see. And here we see it again. On a lower time frame, of course, we're seeing it on the 4-hour or hourly, but it is a similar bottom. Whether it is the bottom or not, I don't know, and I frankly do not care too much. I'm not overzealously longing here or looking for longs or looking for positions such as that. I am more just assessing the market level by level and trying to play this as smart as possible at the highs that we are currently at, where frankly we've put in a great rally, and this seems like a consolidation, and whether it's consolidation for distribution or further accumulation is a question I am currently not willing to sit here and pretend to know the answer to. So we redrew the range, looking like this now: bottom of the range, middle of the range at 51.5, and then top of the range around 52.5. So what we want to see is continue to flip this level. If you want to take a long here to the top of the range and see if we can break out to that 40 or 54K level, that is also fine. I might take that. I might not, depending on spot flows. Again, same as last week, what I said still counts. Look at the spot flows. Look at what's going to pump the market here and what the market is relying on, and that it's not perps just constantly long and shorting and increasing position size. What else is there to say about BTC? I think not much has changed on the daily. I think if we go higher time frame, the levels are still the same: 48.5, 47, 45, and then ultimately if we come down to 43, this would be a great level. And of course there's the major levels like 38 down here that remain interesting to me, and then 32 if we do come down to there. But you see, I'm not, again, just like last week, sitting here pretending or hoping that 32K is going to be the level in which I'm going to be able to buy. And if we do get there, then I think a lot of people will actually not buy there because they think it's going to just completely collapse to like the 20s again. I just do not believe that whatsoever. I think that these levels, as of right now, are going to be the levels where you're going to want to see if you can long dips. For alts, you know what? I'll do a separate alt video as well this week. So I'm going to release this one today, and then tomorrow I have the alt video that I'll record right after this up. So yeah, then we're going to go over some altcoins with you guys. I think this still counts as the primary level, where if we reach 54, I see a lot of resistance here. If you look at order flow, you can also see that there's just a wall of asks over here. So it kind of just the moment we get up here, just a wall of shorts, right? That is going to bump the price down. And that's right over here, 54. So if we do somehow TWAP through this, then before you know we're at 60, and at 60 before you know we're at all-time highs. So that's kind of the game plan right now. I'm not going to be shorting just because of this wall right now. If we do reach that wall, I want to see how price interacts with these major shorts. That's essentially it really for BTC. So just look at how price reacts at these dip areas. So again, these are the levels where we see these bounces drawn. If we react well off those levels and you see alts pumping off those levels, then try to long those. And for the rest, that's about it. ETH. I know I've been shitting on it. Every time it's like, yo, it's been weak. Currently it's strong. It's looking good. It's looking a lot stronger than BTC is, that's for sure. And I think the reason probably is the ETF news, where BTC is kind of gone through that, and the hype around it is gone, and people are speculating that ETH ETF is the next thing to pop off. Additionally, we are just popping ahead over that 3K level, which I think a lot of people FOMO into. So overall, decent looking. I'm relatively bullish on ETH compared to BTC. If BTC can continue to kind of chop in that range that we just drew out, then I can see ETH just putting in higher highs to like 3,200, which is my first level of like, okay, well, that's kind of a nice level to look at. That's about it, really. ETH has just been strong compared to BTC, and well done, good job. Of course, on the higher time frames, we still haven't put in those relative highs where BTC is like up here and ETH is still down here within the range, but you know, it looks like it's doing that catch-up move now, which is nice to see. One thing to note is the cycle, right? So I think a lot of people know this, but if we go and draw the cycle has historically looked like this. So this is the beginning, right? Number one. So we'll just draw a quick one here. And this happens on micro and macro skills, right? So this happens on the 1 day, on the 1 minute, so you usually can't catch these moves because of bots, etc. But it happens on a bunch of different skills. So again, this is where we start. ETH. Let me move over to ETH. Alts. And shitters. And then back to BTC. And this is kind of how money rotates within crypto historically. So we'll just draw it like this. This is where we start. And you can see this within minor cycles, right? So we can see this on a weekly basis. So it's not as in weekly chart basis, but on a weekly. So if BTC pumps in the beginning of the week or beginning of a month or beginning of a tiny cycle. So we've seen this a few months ago. We saw this with things like Bonk suddenly popping off. And what you kind of saw was that BTC rallied, BCH rallied, and all the BTC derivatives. Then you kind of saw ETH quite immediately follow up together with alts, but it's still paired as in 1 to 2 to 3. And then we saw suddenly like BTC was chopping, or BTC was just kind of slowly rallying. ETH was slowly rallying. Alts were still kind of making moves, but they were still kind of relative to shitters like Bonk, etc. Pepe, Bonk, Meme, you name the shitcoin, and those were just going absolutely bananas, right? And then slowly we saw liquidity kind of rotate out of that back into BTC, and then you saw that rally once more. And if you look at this could be on a monthly, on a yearly basis. So if we see BTC's rally right now as ahead of ETH, we can see on a macro scale ETH currently catching up to that same level, then a bunch of alts catching up to that same level, and then if shitters kind of come next, then liquidity rotates back into BTC. So we can see a more major scale kind of shitters rally and alts rally coming up if ETH can continue to put in strength here. A nuance to this is usually right here. there's a reset. So we can just dump / reset. Usually this is a nuance to add. So it kind of goes shitters, dump, reset, back into a BTC rally, back into ETH rally, alt, etc. So this is kind of a cycle I think a lot of people know about. It's kind of like a benchmark of being in the space for a while. And an interesting thing to just make sure you know is the fact that it doesn't work based on a specific time frame or based on a bull market. So it's not like BTC just rallies all the way to 60K and then ETH is still at $800, right? No, it's obviously all simultaneous to some degree because it happens in different waves, kind of. So you can have waves like this, which is like, these are like 1 month each. And then within this, there's waves that go like this. And those are like a daily waves, right? So you can kind of, or weekly waves, or you could see it as years, months, years, weeks, however you want to see it. But this is kind of how it rotates, as like this. So I hope that's kind of clear. I think a lot of people know about this, so I don't think I have to go into too much depth about it. But it's a nice little nuance to the weekly overview and what you could potentially expect. Thank you guys. If you guys want to trade and Bybit is not leaving your country, because Bybit's just kind of on a roll with that, then trade almost any alts, etc. at Bybit. Use my affiliate link down below. That's just going to help me out, help the channel out, and help me grow. Furthermore, WooX, if Bybit is banned, then WooX is a great partner for me as well right now. So check that out down below. There's also a link there. You get % off on all transaction fees on the platform, which will also help me out. Furthermore, any articles, etc. down below at boomish.org. There's also a newsletter. Currently, I haven't released a newsletter in a long time, so you shouldn't expect that to come out. But once the courses do come out, which I've been getting requests for but have not been working on too avidly, but once those courses do come out, then and it's kind of going to be less of a course and more of a one-on-one a few times a week as well. So it's going to include a bunch of things. And just like a more community-based thing where you can trade with other traders. And yeah, so once that comes out, then of course everyone signed up to the newsletter is going to get early access and % off, etc. So that's also something to check out. Okay, that's about it. I don't think there's much else to say. Follow me on Twitter, of course. Check the Telegram. Haven't been trading much, so there's not many alerts within the trading channel there. I'm kind of just waiting it out here and trying to get some clarity on the charts for myself. Okay, thank you guys. Have a great day. Trade away.